Hey, David Hughes, Theater Advice. So today we're going to talk about, I caution saying stuff like this because it's like, then, if anyone believed me, they would never buy anything else. But the reality is these are ultra luxury item. They, very, very unaffordable type thing. But Focal is my #1 pick. And I don't mean that to say that it's better than other speakers or anything like that, because I think audio is the only thing in our industry that is truly like complete opinion, right? There are projectors that you can show have more detail at certain distances and stuff like that, and different color accuracies with testing and all of this kind of stuff. Speakers are not like that. I don't care if it is something that's perfectly flat, ranges and all this stuff. Like Pro Audio in theory, we all know I love, they tout a completely flat frequency response, and they do, and it's badass. But I've also had a couple people go in there and not like it for whatever reason. And I think it's amazing, but at the end of the day, audio is an opinion. My opinion is that Focal Utopia is the best speaker ever made. This is their Scala, so this is their smallest in the line floor standing speaker, if you want to call that small. But I do want to talk about some of the technology, some of the things I love about it. First, fit and finish. They are a large speaker, but they're just a formidable thing in a room. They're just like, here I am. You could put them in a foyer. They come in frickin' British racing green, which is dope, and I love it to death. But my favorite thing about this design, and they carried some of this into the Sopra, although the Sopra doesn't have the same look, but it's very similar, is that drivers throw sound front and back, right? So the tweeter, which is a beryllium tweeter, pure beryllium tweeter from them, that tweeter throws sound front and back. And essentially, in a regular conventional frequencies with that sound bouncing around in the cabinet, and if it's ported and things like that, you can hear some of that stuff happen in a cabinet if you're an ultra audiophile, and these are things you look for. So this entire section here, if he looks at it from the side, this entire section, I'm sorry I said Someone got mad that I said the other day. Like I should just read off of it. They told me to take an acting class. I told them to calm down. So this tweeter is literally like, this entire thing is the tweeter, right? So the tweeter is a totally separate cabinet. It's vented on the back. They claim nothing comes out of there, which is fine. That's the whole point. The point is, all of the sound basically dissipates through channels all the way in that cabinet, and it basically disperses any cabinet resonance. So any resonant frequencies, errant frequencies, things that you don't want to hear bouncing around in a cabinet is eliminated with that design. Also, just like the SVS, although they kind of more invented it, but I doubt it's a patented design, or there'd be a bunch of people getting sued right now. But this bent design is something that they've been doing for a long, long time in their Grand Utopia and stuff like that. And it's a time alignment design. So based on the driver configuration, driver size, they bend the cabinet. If you go all the way up to the Grand Utopia, you can actually move the cabinet and choose that time alignment, but because you can totally geek out with it. But this is their sandwich W cone. That's a really, really their highest end material there. So they use those materials in a hybrid of it in their Sopra series, and then the Utopia gets the best of the best. But this speaker, I'm just going to talk about it very broad of what I love about it. So, besides design, the bottom port that makes it easier to place in a room, it's got a wide mouth port on the bottom. And of course the separate tweeter and all the things, all the technologies that they go in. Focal makes all their own speakers. Same with Dolly, same with Sonus Faber and things like that. I love a company that makes their own drivers. They're not purchasing drivers from Scandinavia or wherever and putting them in cabinets, being a cabinet company instead of a speaker company. They are a speaker company through and through. So they make their own stuff. The first thing I ever noticed with Focal, and what I really love about them, is their energy. And I know that's probably not a technical term in audiophile circles, but I hear energy in a speaker. Some speakers are just kind of laid back and they chill, and even if you play like if you're just in that mood and you're working, you want to play some techno through them, sometimes you're just kind of like lacklustered by it. Or sometimes a speaker sounds really, really good on guitar and piano and things like that. So good, in fact, that almost nothing sounds as good as it, but then you play Metallica through it and you're kind of like, oh. The Focal, anything I throw at it, especially in the Sopra and the Utopia line, sounds detailed, forward-facing. It's a little bright, but I don't mind that. I think some instruments are bright. Some noises are meant to be bright when DJs are making this kind of sound. I mean, there's a song called Make Us Stronger that I listen to on speakers just to see their dynamic breath. Like, I want to see how big they can be and how energetic they can be. And these speakers, I've never heard a speaker that makes that song sound that good. And you switch to Metallica and you're like, well, maybe that's all it's got. But then you go to like some cello and you're like, well, damn, like they just sound good on everything. But when you ask them to give you that holy crap sound, right? When you ask them to do that for you, they do it better than anybody. I mean, you can literally sit back there. I've played that Make a Stronger track on, you know, in the chair with a client. I'm sitting behind them, and literally they'll turn around and just kind of be like, you know, you get that like, oh damn face. So they are my favorite speaker. I've heard them on every type of music. I like them. They do nothing poor. They don't have a weakness. You know, they are the frickin' Pagani of speakers, right? The Koenigsegg. Like, they're your handmade, you know, no holds barred audio. And there's other speakers that I like very close to them, like the Dolly Core stuff. You know, you're getting into ultra high end, you know, audio, Sonus Faber. You're starting to get into their Guarneri stuff. I mean, there's speakers that I like and I love, and I just hear it. I'm like, man, those are so good. But nothing ever like excites me as much as a Focal Utopia, which is why I bought them. So side note, these are $55,000. If anyone watching this right now, I'm selling them for $30,000 as the demos. It's an absolutely smoking deal. $10,000 less than anything I've seen online, but I'm just upgrading them, so it's no big deal. I'll always have Utopias. I have Utopias at my house behind my own screen, so you know, I'm always gonna go. Sorry, I don't know how much that pisses people off, but now I'm just gonna do it more. See, I'm gonna get back into it. I'm gonna not say this time. So this is my favorite speaker. Bold statement, but it is true. I love them to death. It is no holds barred, pound for pound, the best audio you can buy if you can afford 60 grand and throw another, you know, $15,000, $20,000 or more of amplification. I will close out by saying I don't have it here, but when I heard these on their own gear, and I love Macintosh to death, and it's amazing in here. When I heard them on the name gear with separate power supplies and all that stuff done properly, like a stack of name gear, I almost cried. Like, it was the craziest thing. Like, it makes those speakers do everything they were ever meant to do and more. That stuff gets very pricey, which is fine. You know, I think this thing is a bargain. 350 watts by 2 integrated amp. Beautiful, sexy. I think it's great. You know, that kind of thing. But you know, that name stuff doesn't look like much. It's skinny boxes, but it punches way above its weight, and really, really great. So if you can afford name and Focal Utopia, it's like, it is Utopia. However, this is also amazing. So that's my best pick. Review on Focal Utopia. I'm probably not saying anything anyone else hasn't said or doesn't say online, because anyone that has heard them loves them, I think. So, you know, not a shocking statement that these are my favorite, but they're my favorite. So if you want to pop in here and listen to them, most people don't buy them and want to listen to them anyway because they're really cool. Feel free. Otherwise, you know, a lot of big cities have got the Focal name stores, and you can go in and listen to them, and pretty amazing stuff. So if you want the best, that's the best. Hey guys, I just wanted to thank you for listening to whatever I was just rambling about. And of course, if you are in the Dallas area or surrounding areas and you can get here, visit our showrooms in Frisco or South Lake location. And now we can help you anywhere, from anywhere in the country, through the world's first mom and pop shop on the internet called fcavsystems.com. We are very excited about this project. We're happy to bring what Theater Advice does here in Texas to everyone. Thanks for watching.